everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to share an incredible experience I had recently, one that tested my skills on the chessboard. I faced off against a strong 1,400 rated chess player. If you're keen on improving your chess and want to see how I fared against this formidable opponent, stick around. First off, let me set the scene for you. It was sunny on Saturday, December 28th, 2024, and I decided to join Rapid Arena on chess.com. As I checked in, I could feel the intensity of the arena. Players rated higher than me. The people are buzzing on the chat box. For someone who loves chess as much as I do, it felt like paradise. Now let me introduce you to my opponent. After winning my first two games, I was paired against a 1,400 rated player with the username MeisterGross48. I could sense right away that he was serious about his game. As his opening repertoire, I could sense the confidence that he had a reputation for being strategic and well-prepared. The match begins with d4, knight f6, and bishop g5. I honestly think it was an unusual choice for him, aiming for quick piece activity rather than central control. This leads to a Trompowsky setup with a bishop exchange. c5, bishop takes f6, and g takes f6. I accepted the gambit, opening the g file for the potential of my rook activity, but weakening the king side pawn structure. d5, queen b6, and b3. He chooses to defend the b2 pawn indirectly, which is not optimal as it delays development and weakens the c3 square. f5, e3, bishop g7, c3, and d6. I opted for a solid setup with the bishop on g7, aiming for control over the long diagonal. His choice of c3 rather than a more aggressive e4 or knight f3 feels somewhat passive. Bishop c4 and queen a5. The queen moves to a5, pressures b3, and prepares to potentially double rooks on the a file later. Knight e2, b5, bishop d3, and a6. I gained space on the queen side, but at the cost of weakening the b6 square. The recommendation of knight d7 suggests better control over the center and development. Castle, e6, d takes e6, and f takes e6, opening the f file for my rook, but also simplifying the center somewhat. He could have considered knight f4 to challenge the e6 pawn and maintain tension. a4, knight c6, knight d2, and b4. My queenside pawn storm begins, gaining space and opening lines. His response with knight d2 is less optimal than suggested e4, which would fight for central control. Knight c4, queen d8, rook c1, and d5. I centralized the queen and pushed in the center, gaining a clear advantage. His rook c1 misses the tactical opportunity with bishop taking f5. Knight d2, b takes c3, knight takes c3, and queen a5. My pawn structure on the queen side looks formidable, with the c3 now a target. Knight e2, knight b4, bishop b1, and bishop b2. I invaded with the bishop, showing the effectiveness of the queenside strategy. Knight f4, bishop takes c1, and queen h5 check. He gained some activity, but at the cost of losing his rook's activity on the c-file. However, my king move to e7 was not ideal, suggesting king d7 for better control. Rook takes c1, and knight d3 is a tactical mistake, which allows him to simplify into a better position with knight takes d3. Queen takes d2, rook takes c5, and bishop d7. My bishop retreat aims to keep the king safe and the queen active, but he missed the opportunity with the queen g5 check, which shows how tactical play could have shifted the momentum. King e8, queen h5 check, king e7, h3, and rook ab8. A significant mistake, missing the chance to consolidate rook ag8. His knight e5 is not the strongest. Queen g5 check would have been much more threatening. Queen e1 check, king h2, king d6, and f4. That move is a double-edged decision, aiming for activity but weakening the e3 pawn. The game becomes very tactical here, with many possibilities for us. Rook hg8, queen f3, queen takes b1, rook a5, bishop c8, queen h5, queen f1, queen f3, queen e1, knight takes f7 check, king e7, rook c5, and king takes f7. I made a blunder here by taking the knight, giving him a chance to draw with a perpetual check on queen h5, but luckily he missed this with rook c7 check. I guess he was under pressure because his clock was winding down. King f6, rook c6, rook takes b3, and he ran out of time. My rook captures on b3, capitalizing on his mistakes, leading to the win. His passive opening choices led to a lack of central control. My queenside expansion was well played, but marred by mistakes. We missed several tactical shots, particularly in the middle game, where the complexity of the position demanded sharp play. The game underlines the importance of understanding pawn structure, the dangers of passive play, and the need for constant tactical vigilance. Despite my higher rating, the game was not a walkover, showing that with better tactical awareness, he could have achieved a different outcome. Not bad and well played. Kudos to him and shout out to you, Meistergross48. So, what did I take away from this experience? First, I learned the importance of staying vigilant and never underestimating my opponent, no matter the rating. It's crucial to think a few moves ahead and always consider the consequences of each action. Thanks for joining me on this chess adventure. If you've learned anything from my experience or have some tips for facing stronger opponents, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more chess content. Until next time, keep playing, keep improving, and remember, every game is a lesson.